This is One-on-One. George Morgan is a retired teacher, except you'll find out how retired in a second. Co-chair of the Environmental Education Committee of the Friends of Edwin Forsythe National Wildlife Refuge. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
You're not a retired teacher. When did you officially retire? After 36 years in the classroom?
Close to 5 years ago.
Except you were on the couch for about a week, and what did you realize?
This isn't for me.
No, by the way, let's let everyone know. We're about to see a piece of video in a second about the organization. Tell everyone what the Friends of Edwin B. Forsythe National Wildlife Refuge is all about. What is it?
It's a volunteer organization. We support the Edwin B. Forsythe National Wildlife Refuge in educational programs, class trip visitations.
There's a part of your
like
life, but
that.
you were volunteering when you were a teacher.
Yes.
For these guys.
Yes.
36 years in the classroom. So Mr. Morgan, who is also a track and field coach, loves it, passionate, one of the many great teachers as part of this initiative. We're doing Classroom Close-Up in cooperation with our partners at the New Jersey Education Association. Take a look at this video, tells you about the organization and tells you about this guy, and then we'll come back to talk to the retired teacher. We'll be back after this.
Who remembers the big oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico? And it was some job to try to clean up, wasn't it?
As a retired science teacher, George Morgan continues to care about the environment, so much so that he volunteers his time teaching young students about wildlife and conservation.
So you're gonna make the boom first. It's gonna look like this.
It's like sucking up like the oil and maybe a little bit of the water.
Today, George and several other volunteers from the Friends of Forsythe, a nonprofit organization that operates a wildlife refuge in Atlantic County, are performing science experiments that teach these third graders about oil spills.
The first experiment, we used a aluminum cake pan where we simulated the Gulf of Mexico. Put food coloring in the water, we took Wesson oil, and we put black poster paint in it to make it look like oil.
I see the water going.
And I see some of the blue stuff.
Yeah.
We had each group build what we call an oil boom. That's what they use in the industry when they try to clean up. It's like a float that they can try to wrap around the oil spill itself and contain it.
Not oil at all water.
So they use the inquiry method to compare their results to other groups and come to a conclusion as to what the best material was. The effects of an oil spill like this, with millions and millions of gallons, goes all through the environment.
What it does for my children is that it gives them hands-on experience from experts who know a lot of information about the various species of animals and nature in our area. So I just think it's a great opportunity for them to learn.
An oil spill is a problem because, it's bad for the environment. Mr. Morgan and his friends taught us that cleaning a bird would help the environment.
Oil spill happened a long ways away, the other side of the country as far as they're concerned, and a lot of them do not understand what really happened. And it was just a little bit to show them with a hands-on project of what people went through. There were thousands of people went down to Louisiana to clean up the birds and so forth. And they had a small sampling of what happened.
If they learn one thing that will help one animal or one aspect of the environment, it's a positive.
I'd imagine doing a whole bird. This is just one feather.
How much do you love being in front of those kids?
It never left since I left the classroom.
What do you mean?
Every day is just as exciting as the next. It was nice to do labs such as this where the kids, you saw them cleaning up the bird feather. Well, we used poster paint and oil, and we tried different detergents and things, and we found out our conclusion was that Dawn worked the best, and that's what they use. Now, we had them do one feather, Then we showed them a picture of, say, like a pelican. They're fairly large birds. Try cleaning one of those, and it's not going to sit there.
You are a science teacher deep in your heart, are you not?
Yes.
Deep in your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Am I misunderstanding or miscalculating? But when you were watching that video, was that somewhat emotional for you?
Very nice. Nice to see the kids respond. And
What do you mean nice to see the kids respond? I mean, you've been doing this, I'm not being, I'm playing devil's advocate, but I'm being very serious right now. What do you say to those who say, come on, you did it for 36 years, it's been 5 years since you officially retired, that means 41 years. How could you still get the same gut, visceral level reaction to see kids when they're learning and their eyes are opening up and they understand and you help do that? How could you still get that deep, deep emotional reaction? How do you do that?
it's different with every student. It's different with every group. And as you feel out the situation, you try to contact and work with what their interests are.
Is that the key to being a great teacher?
I try to put myself in their shoes.
What do you mean?
As a student, I don't know about this topic. Please help me to understand. And you try to convey that message the best you can.
Is there a place for retired teachers to continue to make a contribution as educators?
There are I know of a lot of things like what I'm doing. There's
Right.
Down in Ocean County, we have a lot of openings. We have the Caddis Island. They're always looking for volunteers. There's another nature center in Tuckerton. It's Tuckerton Seaport, always looking for volunteers to help and do basically the same things that we're doing there.
Before I let you go, I'm going to ask you this. What do you say to those who really don't know and appreciate the value of public school teachers? What do you say? What's the impact?
It's kind of a tough thing now. The public may be getting different views.
Well, what do
of
you say?
What do I say? I think we do a fine job.
How important are teachers in children's lives?
Very important. You look at, I've seen students of mine go on and become doctors. I've seen, and it's a personal pride to meet up or to hear from a parent, oh, you were my son's teacher and he's...
Well, you make a big difference. Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, and banking under the principle of stewardship. PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. And by the law firm of Gibbons PC. Promotional support provided by NJ Biz, All Business, All New Jersey. And by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.